So episode 13 of Violet Evergarden has arrived. This is the final episode for the season of Violet Evergarden. Granted, we do have an OVA in a couple of months, as well. A Violet Evergarden anime project has also been announced by Kyoto Animation. We don't know what that is, but if we know Kyoto Animation, it's probably going to be a Violet Evergarden movie or something to that nature. But nonetheless, this is the final episode for this season, at least for Violet Evergarden. And I have to say, this was a very satisfying conclusion, and something I like with anime is when they leave endings open-ended to a sense. I thought After the Rain from the same season that Violet Evergarden is airing in had pretty much the same idea where whatever your preference on the relationship in that show was, you could have in the future. And the idea of the Violet Evergarden's ending, who Violet meets at the end, is open to interpretation. Personally, I think it's very clear who she met. It was Gilbert. But if for whatever reason you were on the fence of, you could interpret it as Violet looking at the audience or Violet meeting someone she knew from the past. But nonetheless, whatever you wanted Gilbert's fate to be, you got. Now, I did take a look at some of the changes that Violet Evergarden did take from the novel, because the past few episodes have deviated away. They rearranged some things, changed some character fates, and I do know the fate of Gilbert in the novel. I will remain spoiler-free in case you guys want to go read the novel, you don't want to know anything that I know here, but I personally believe that Kyoto Animation made the right changes for the most part. I personally like how they changed the fate of everything that kind of happened in this final episode to the past couple, because I really feel like they really expanded on characters' personalities, like Gilbert's brother. I really love the character arc they gave him in the past couple of weeks. Literally, Gilbert's brother tries giving her orders at the end, saying like, live, 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 and die later, and then Violet says, I don't need orders anymore. I just overall liked the progression they took. I felt like everyone felt much more human than some of the big changes. Like, granted, I haven't read the novel, but I saw some of the twists and turns they took with Gilbert's brother, and just other things like that I wasn't a huge fan of. There was one aspect that I think it would be nice to see, and hopefully it will be in the OVA, but nonetheless, I personally feel fulfilled. I really like how Violet came to kind of a full circle stop. She really does feel like a person who's showing her emotion. Her letter to Gilbert was just absolutely heartwarming. And yes, I mean, I personally am on the fence of who she met at the end was Gilbert, because it definitely, just the way they directed that, was 100% indicating, like, the way the letter was being read to, there's a client who's saying, we need to see you right now, have to be here, you have to travel to see them, and then when she opens the door, the smile of shock, and then immediately, I'm Violet Evergarden. It definitely struck me as that's what they were interpreting, but if for whatever reason the viewer that was watching, because this is a sort of ending that could have a mixed reception, because if they 100% show Gilbert dead or alive, half the fan base would be angry and half the fan base would be happy. So I think they went the best route of keeping it open-ended, so whatever the preference for the viewer was, you could have. And granted, maybe the OVA will pick up exactly where this anime left off. I highly doubt it. I think it'll be a side story, maybe a different letter that someone's going to be writing. But nonetheless, I think they went the right route of keeping him dead in a sense, but still showing us that there is a very high potential that the person Violet met with at the end is 100% Gilbert. And overall, I had a fantastic time with Violet Evergarden. It definitely had its ups and downs here or there, but as a whole package, these 13 episodes I thought were masterfully crafted. I really enjoyed Violet's progression of being a monotone nothing, seeing the original content of building her up as a writer, seeing the novel content, seeing how they rework the novel content. I just really like it when studios aren't afraid to rearrange things because they know the fans are going to be down their throats saying, how dare you touch our precious source material, this is the holy Bible for us. But I like it when a studio says, you know what, this isn't how we personally would have wrote it, we want to rearrange it. And as long as the creator isn't saying, no, you can't do this when they sign off, absolutely go for it. I mean, if you want the original is always there. I want a good product for the medium that it's in, and I feel like we got a fantastic product, which is Violet Evergarden. We still have the OVA episode 14 going to be coming out around the summer season. We have a new Violet Evergarden project, which is more than likely the Violet Evergarden Gaiden, I believe is what it's called, which is some of the side stories or side characters. But I definitely think we're getting that OVA and movie combo. I think that's what's going to happen. I don't see another season of Violet Evergarden happen, but maybe I'll be proven wrong. But nonetheless, this is a cash cow for KyoAni, so we know we're going to see much more. But I really liked it. I thought how they handled the train scene wasn't too fast or slow. They handled it in like 4 to 5 minutes, which was the appropriate length. They tied up the war, they tied that all up nicely, and just Violet's letter overall was just very heartwarming how she handled all that. And personally, I just felt like they chose the perfect scene to end it on, so no matter what the viewer's preference was with Gilbert's fate, you're fine with. Personally, like I said, I'm still on the fence of, because the anime is the anime. Just because the anime is based off of a novel and there are things that the novel did doesn't mean that happens in the anime. That's how it works. Just because something is adapting it, it's its own property. But I do believe with the way they directed that final scene, it was definitely indicating to me very clearly that who she met with at the end was Gilbert 100%, but I do like how it is open-ended. So those people who don't like that, like, no, Gilbert has to stay dead for her progression, can still have that. But I personally believe Violet's letter really indicated that she is a person and she could handle Gilbert being back in her life, and that's why Gilbert would tell her that he is alive all this time. That's how I feel personally, but granted, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion because Kyoto Animation ended it in an open-ended way, so no matter your preference, you got that. I love Violet Evergarden. I don't know if I'll review the OVA or not, depends on my schedule when that comes out, but nonetheless, I thought this was a fitting conclusion. I just can't wait to see where the franchise is going to go from here, just based on the fact that we have the OVA coming out as well as a new Violet Evergarden project at some point in time. Can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. But let me know your thoughts on the final episode. What did you think? Favorite moment? Let me know down in that comment section below. And before you leave, smack that like button, share your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.